Well, my story is a little different, not so somber. But I had a business partner who was a friend, I guess you call him that. And we had a pretty good relationship. We were involved in antique cars. So we would buy and sell cars, fix them up, whatever. So we had this Mercedes that we wanted to sell, and there was an auction coming up. So we decided to take the car to the auction. So we drove out. It was outside of Toronto, and I forget exactly where, but it was in a community outside of Toronto, and it was like a fairground. They had all these exotic cars, and in conjunction to that, they had food and family entertainment, and then they had this auction. So we took the car up to the show, and we were hoping to sell it, but it was just like it was a new experience. We'd never been to a car auction before, so this was a new situation. So we get there and we see all these amazing vehicles, from the classic cars to the hot rods. Everybody has their own tastes, and this show presented a lot of variety. So we see this Rolls-Royce, beautiful. It was called a Cloud. That's a certain type of Rolls-Royce, silver Cloud. So lovely looking car. We look at it. We open the doors. So time comes for the auction, and our car goes on the block. And most cars, if they have any real value, you put what they call a reserve bid on them, which means if the number doesn't come up, if they don't hit that number, it doesn't sell. So there's no chance that people are going to get it for $2. So our car goes on the block, and the person for that car wasn't there, so it didn't sell. So I'm with my partner, and we're seated a few rows back from the auctioneer, and the Rolls-Royce comes onto the auction block. Now you have to realize that we hadn't discussed buying anything at the show. So the auctioneer is trying to get people to bid on this Rolls-Royce, and do I hear $5,000? Do I hear $8,000? He's trying to get somebody to put a number out there. And my partner, he just says yes. So now all of a sudden, we figured he'd just start the ball rolling. But if you know anything about auctions and auctioneers, sometimes you're actually bidding against yourself. They da-da-da-da-da-da, and I hear and they just keep people in a frenzy, and they try and get you to bid more than you probably want. Well, anyway, we bid the car up to around $12,000, at which point the auctioneer says, there's no one else in the audience. They're trying to get us to go higher. No. So what happens next? When we leave the auction, one of the auctioneers comes over to us and says, if you had an interest in the car, the owner wasn't here, you were short on the reserve bid, here's his phone number. When you get back to Toronto, give him a call. Maybe you guys can work something out. Come back to Toronto, call him up, say, we saw your car at the auction. We were thinking of, we didn't really want to buy it, we just wanted to sell it. And he gave us the Rolls-Royce on consignment. So I must have been about 19 at the time. My partner must have been around the same age. And we were driving a 1962 Silver Cloud in Toronto for that summer. And because of that car, we ended up getting a second Rolls-Royce, a 68 Silver Shadow. So we were driving two Rolls-Royces.
Wow.
And the moral of the story is, life doesn't really start until you get outside your comfort zone. We did not have any inkling that we would be able to sell these cars, drive these cars. We never actually owned these cars, but we had ownership of them, in a sense, because
so you had all of them.
We had both of the cars, and we ended up selling both of them. We made money, but that opened up a lot of possibilities, and I think a lot of us play it safe, and as we get older, we sometimes play it even safer. And that is a risk, because life does not start until you're outside your comfort zone. And today, I think for several of us here, this is outside our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're all pushing.